In 1969, on the set of the film Anjana Safar, the director called action. Without warning or a script, the lead actor grabbed 14-year-old Rekha and forced a kiss on her for 5 straight minutes. The director never yelled cut. The camera kept rolling, and the crew, instead of intervening, stood by, whistling and clapping. Rekha squeezed her eyes shut and cried. She knew she had been tricked, but she didn't say a word. Complaining meant getting fired, and that would erase her entire acting career before it even started. The Indian film industry didn't treat this as a scandal. It operated as standard procedure. For decades, sexual exploitation happened in plain sight, and a victim's total silence was the absolute cost of admission. Fast forward nearly 40 years to 2008. Actress Tanushree Datta reported to her director and producer that her co-star, Nana Patekar, was aggressively harassing her on the set of a movie. The production team's response was swift. But instead of removing him, they allowed Patekar to demand a highly intimate and completely unnecessary dance sequence with her. When Tanushree refused and locked herself in her vanity van to escape the harassment, she faced physical retaliation. A mob was called to the set, and they violently smashed the windows of her car. She filed a police report, but her role was quickly recast. This incident proved exactly how the machinery worked. It shielded the abuser, physically threatened the victim, and effectively punished anyone who dared to speak up. 10 years later, the global conversation shifted. Activist Tarana Burke had created the Me Too framework, giving survivors a shared vocabulary to describe workplace abuse. By 2017, dozens of women publicly detailed the serial predatory behavior of Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. This triggered a worldwide wave of survivors naming their abusers in public. In 2018, Tanushree Datta repeated her exact allegations against Nana Patekar on television. But this time, journalists who had witnessed the 2008 attack posted their corroborating accounts directly to social media. Social platforms bypassed the studio executives who traditionally controlled the narrative. For the first time, collective public backing acted as a shield, making it possible for other Indian actresses to step forward safely. Once the dam broke, multiple women exposed influential director Sajid Khan. Actress Saloni Chopra detailed a grueling process of psychological manipulation. Under the guise of career mentorship, Khan interrogated her about her sex life, demanded bikini photos, and subjected her to months of mental torture. Other actresses, like Rachel White and Mandana Karimi, described a similar pattern. Khan would offer them film roles, only to summon them to his private bedroom and demand they strip to prove their physical fitness for the part. These overlapping accounts stripped away the myth of the casting couch as a consensual transaction. It was a highly calculated mechanism of entrapment designed by powerful men to corner young women. The abuse crossed all genres and public personas. Alok Nath was one of television's most respected actors, famous for exclusively playing highly traditional, moral, or sanskari father figures. Lighter and producer Rosinta Nanda revealed that Nath had spiked her drink at a party and sexually assaulted her. Soon after, multiple co-stars confirmed Nath had a long history of aggressive, predatory behavior on set. The list kept growing. Powerful directors like Subhash Ghai and renowned singers like Kailash Kher faced deeply disturbing allegations from multiple women. The sheer volume of these overlapping stories exposed a deep, industry-wide rot. Decades of silence had sustained an infrastructure built to protect predators across every tier of film and television. The power dynamics exposed in these studios mirror a broader reality across Indian workplaces. From journalism to corporate boardrooms, women encounter the same ultimatum: submit to a predatory environment or lose your position. This pattern results in an invisible, tragic cost. For every high-profile actress who spoke out, thousands of unempowered women have quietly abandoned their educations or resigned from their jobs rather than submit to daily exploitation. Workplace sexual harassment functions as a gatekeeping mechanism. It is a tool used to subjugate women and force them out of professional spaces by making their continued presence contingent on submission. Whenever these stories break, a predictable, dismissive question inevitably follows. Why didn't you speak up earlier? In 2008, a single report resulted in physical violence and a destroyed career. 10 years later, that same report triggered mass corroboration and the total collapse of the industry's ability to retaliate. When thousands of women finally spoke in unison, they overwhelmed the retaliation machinery. They replaced forced isolation with a collective demand for accountability. This movement dismantled the absolute guarantee of silence. It finally created a world safe enough for victims to tell the truth.